Extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice. And let me remind you also that moderation in the pursuit of justice is no virtue.
Time to reawaken this industrial giant, to get government back within its means, and to lighten our punitive tax burden. And these will be our first priorities, and on these principles there will be no compromise. I can hear you! I can hear you! The rest of the world hears you! And the people... Never. In nothing, great or small, large or petty, never give in except to convictions of honor and good sense. Never yield to force. Never yield to the apparently overwhelming might of the enemy. I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. We declare our right on this earth to be a man, to be a human being, to be respected as a human being, to be given the rights of a human being in this society, on this earth, in this day, which we intend to bring into existence by any means necessary.
Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani on RagingElementsRadio.com.
Hey, what's up, Saints and Patriots? Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani, RagingElementsRadio.com, the rebellious voice of Texas liberty. Even as I come on the microphone today, I'm sharing the video link with everybody on Facebook, just as you should be doing as well. Share the video link with everybody that you know on Facebook. That's the 3 things that you should be doing to beat the algorithm, the Facebook algo, when it comes to censorship. Like all the content you find on the Raging Elephants Radio Facebook page. Make a comment, even if it's just one word. Thumbs up, thumbs down, fantastic, awful, you stink, whatever. Like it, make a comment, and share it. Even if you don't like it, make an angry face. Do something. But those 3 things beat the Facebook algorithm. And I've got a fun program today. I thought we need to have some fun. Now, there's some serious content as always, because this really isn't supposed to be for entertainment purposes. This is wartime radio after all. And no more better time for wartime radio than right now, because we're under attack in more ways than one, citizens. Don't you feel it? Don't you feel, just something as a liberty-driven Texan, there's just something that's within you, your spidey senses, that say, something is wrong here. This isn't supposed to be like this. As a liberty-driven Texan, you're automatically suspicious of any actions that the government is going to take, and you certainly are suspicious when there's an apparent emergency, public emergency, a public health risk is at stake. Everybody can obviously observe, let's say, when a Cat 5 hurricane is heading towards your neighborhood. Even then, we're suspicious of governmental actions that are supposed to be for our protection. And it's the same situation right now with the panic, or as my friend Gavin Babineau calls it, the plandemic. There's so many good titles for what's going on right now, but what is going on right now is not good. Issue number one, we got to open up the economy. More citizens are starting to see that. The politicians are starting to feel the heat, even all the way up to 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and the pressure is on to reopen the economy. And I've got some good video today. Now, we want to have fun today. But while we're having fun, we still want to dig into the seriousness of this government overreach that's happening right now, these tyrannical actions that are disturbing us all. And so I have a video today that really lays out a forecast for small business that's not heartening. Put it to you that way. I wanted to start out today's program by speaking to the issue of how courageous it is in this day of the panic, how courageous you have to be to get an abortion. I've been wanting to read this article. I'm going to read this article to start off today's program because I've been putting it off too long. Because it takes a lot of courage to get an abortion these days. An abortion, according to the left, according to the genocide cult, is an essential surgical procedure, don't you know? But the few things that the juggling governor, King Gregory of Texas, has done is said, abortions are not an essential procedure. And so during the panic, during the shutdown, abortions shall not be performed. Texas Right to Life estimated that just in 1 month that could save a couple of thousand baby Texan lives. But don't you know that the battle, even as humanity battles for existence, because the COVID-19 endangers the existence of humanity. Humanity could go extinct because of COVID-19. You know that, don't you? That's why it's so necessary to shut down the economy and endanger the livelihoods of everyone that's watching and listening right now to me. You know that. But for the genocide left, abortion is an essential procedure. King Gregory did a really good thing by saying it's not an essential procedure, and that as long as we have this shutdown, we have this medical emergency, this panic, there aren't going to be any abortions in Texas. Could save 2,500 baby Texan lives. But leave it to the left to champion someone that decides that in this time of panic, it takes ultimate courage to go out and get an abortion. From the left-wing website rewire.news. The headline, Total Panic. How one Texas woman really caught my eye. Okay? One Texas woman sought an abortion after her state banned them. And the battle still goes on right now. It may go to the Supreme Court. The battle still goes on right now that during the panic, whether or not abortions are an essential surgical procedure and should be allowed. The battles are still going on in the courts. The subtitle, when Texas officials declared abortions non-essential amid the COVID-19 pandemic, one woman's abortion plans were derailed. She went on a 5-day journey to legally get one. Oh, the courage. Let's build a statue to her right now. After learning she was pregnant, Tiffany, a woman in Texas who chose to use a pseudonym to protect her identity, made what she says was an emotional decision to get an abortion, a decision she felt more sure of once the COVID-19 crisis began. You got to be joking me, right? The COVID-19 is here. Humanity could potentially be extinct. This is the perfect time to get an abortion. Said Tiffany, quote, "It kind of hit me really hard," end of quote. A divorced mother in her late 30s who has temporarily lost her job in the health and wellness field. Quote, could I provide a phenomenal life for another member of my family? I don't know that I'm really in a spot to do that. There's no paycheck coming in, no health insurance, end of quote. Well, she's in the health and wellness field. And no health insurance. Oh, I can feel for that. She scheduled an appointment at a South Texas clinic near her home for Friday, March 27, when she'd been around 16 weeks pregnant. But 3 days before her appointment, a family member called her to see if she'd heard the news. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton had announced that abortion would be considered a non-essential medical procedure for the duration of the COVID-19 outbreak, and thus delayed amid the pandemic. The decision effectively banned abortion in the state. O-S blank blank T. She used the S word. Oh blank was her exclamation. Now what? Tiffany recalled thinking. She shared with Rewire.news the long, lonely journey of getting an abortion, which required traveling an estimated 600 miles to Memphis, Tennessee, where she was still able to get the procedure on March 27. So she got her abortion. We should weep for the child. The following story is told in her own words and has been condensed and edited for length and clarity. A family member who knew what was going on called and said, quote, I don't know if you heard this morning, but here's what's up. I said, oh, you've got to be kidding me. I called the clinic to see what to do. The person who answered told me they wouldn't open again until April 26. So now I was in a total panic. I called the General Planned Parenthood number, and they said I could try to get a hold of somebody in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Arkansas. I think at that point they were still on the essential list, and they were closest to me. I tried a clinic in Shreveport, but they had a 48-hour hold on making appointments to see if they could continue seeing patients. I lost it, just started bawling. I'm pacing in the backyard, still in my pajamas, just an absolute wreck, coupled with the fact that I'm a mom, and I'm supposed to keep this all under wraps and keep it all together. Then I called a place in Mississippi, and they said the earliest they could schedule me was a week and a half out. My fear was that with this virus stuff going on, it was going to continue to pick off the states one by one, and these clinics would start closing. What would happen if they closed Mississippi, and I hadn't made it there yet? So I kept searching on Google and found choices in Memphis, all caps, choices, in Memphis. My first conversation was with a staffer who was just so kind and compassionate. She listened to me blabber because I was a mess. Nothing I said was in order, and I'm crying, but she dealt with it all and got me an appointment for that Friday. I said, quote, well, that's fine, but what happens if they close you? Are you sure you're not closing? And she said, no, we're essential, end of quote. I want to finish with this article. I'm going to hold the place right there. When we get back from our first break, I'll continue with this because I find it to be absolutely, we need to know this is the type of mindset that goes on in the death culture, that there are human beings out there that even in the panic feel that they've got to have that abortion. This is someone who works in the health and wellness area, doesn't have health insurance. We can empathize with her there thanks to Obamacare. She's a mother already. She's in health and wellness. Wouldn't she know that there's such things out there as contraceptives? I guess not. But we're gonna hold I'm gonna hold my place right here on the article. We get back, we finish the article, and I got some fun stuff. I got some lighthearted stuff, but it all deals with what we're dealing with right now: the panic and government overreach. All over the nation, citizens are starting to rise up. They're starting to take my lead, take my advice to defy, do not comply. Do not let government take you out of business. The ultimate in picking winners and losers. Don't cut the stream, because if you're not listening, you're not learning. RagingElephantRadio.com. I'm so glad you joined me. I got a lot more.
RER Cross is the Christian programming of RagingElephantRadio.com. Here's a sample from Pastor Keenan Smith.
See, however, though, I believe the White House is supposed to stand as the people's house for all individuals. So I believe it is sinful and wrong for the White House to spend tens of hundreds of thousands of your tax dollars to bathe the White House in rainbow colors, celebrating their victory. So let me say this, that we expect an unregenerated individual to act lost. Lost people act lost. We expect that. We even expect them to embrace or promote or even applaud homosexuality and other ungodly practices, because that's where they are in life. We understand that. The question is not do they act lost, but do we act found?
Enjoy Pastor Keenan Smith, 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElephantRadio.com.
Hey guys, spring is just around the corner, and it's time to check out your air conditioning system. Call Galen Beatty with Beatty AC and Heat, 281-222-9591. And mention this commercial and you can save $15 off your next checkout. Galen Beatty is my AC guy, and he needs to be your AC guy too. No one does it better than he does. This family-owned business is the best in Houston. And even if you're out of town, if you need to replace your entire heating and AC system, Galen Beatty is going to be your best bet. He'll check everything from your thermostats to your air handler to make sure that you're getting the most efficient system ever. Nobody does it like Galen Beatty, and the price is always right. So be sure to mention this commercial and save an extra $15 today. That's Galen Beatty with BeattyACandHeat.com. BEEE ACandHeat.com. 281-222-9591. 281-222-9591. Call him today.
What's up, Saints and Patriots? I'm Apostle Claver, a proud Texas nationalist, and I'm here to tell you about Texit. For 25 years, Daniel Miller has been working to see the rebirth of the Republic of Texas. His work has been hard, but his passion is deep. For many Texans, there is a deep yearning, a burning to see the prophecy of Sam Houston come true. But the desire of their hearts comes with many questions. Texit has the answer. It's the new book from Daniel Miller and Defiance Press. Texit, Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. Texit charts the path to Texas independence. This riveting book of facts and philosophy will soothe your anxiety about the coming change and build your confidence that Texans can get it done. You'll want to buy several copies for your family and friends. Like I've said about this governmental mess, the only way out is out. And the best part of Texit, I'm in it. Texit, Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. It's selling like hotcakes. Buy it on RagingElephantsRadio.com.
Here's how to use the RER app on your commute and get the latest Liberty 411. First, download the RER app on your smart device, phone or tablet, Apple or Android. Search Raging Elephants Radio in your App Store or Google Play and hit the search button on your keyboard. Connect your device to your car audio system. Do it via Bluetooth or auxiliary jack. You riding old school? Stick in some quality earbuds and enjoy the serious HD stereo. No excuses. It's here. RER app.
You're enjoying Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani on RagingElephantsRadio.com.
I want to ask everybody to change your behavior just a little bit. In this time of the panic, you still got to get stuff. I mean, gas is $1.40. In Hot Springs, we were told the other night by one of our viewers on Facebook, in Hot Springs, I guess that's Arkansas, gas is $1.08. Here in H-Town, it's now below $1.40. I'll get to oil later on because Texas has been attacked. We're under attack. And I'm still waiting for retribution. I'm still waiting for payback because Texas has been attacked. But I want to ask you to change your behavior a little bit. You're still shopping at Amazon. Most of y'all shop at Amazon. Don't try to fool anybody. You do. I shop at Amazon. We shop at Amazon. I'm a Prime member. We got that Prime Video package, the Prime Music. That's where I get all my music from. I mean, come on. So keep shopping at Amazon. We just ask you to go to RagingElephantRadio.com first and essentially hit any one of the Amazon.com links that are all over the page, the website, and enter Amazon.com through Raging Elephants Radio. And then anything you purchase, anything you put into your checkout cart, we get a little bit of the commission on it. It's nothing huge. It's not like 20-25%. It's like 3 to 7%. But as many people that shop at Amazon, all of you that are top fans that shop at Amazon, if you would just do that, it helps keep Raging Elephants Radio going, and it helps us grow, keep the lights on. And if everybody who likes Raging Elephants Radio that shops at Amazon, if you're a pet parent, if you've got a fur baby, get all your dog food through RagingElephantRadio.com, powered by Amazon, the marketplace. That helps us going, and I'm going to keep pumping that big time because that could be a main source of revenue for us and keep us going. That's what I'm asking you to do. I want to get back to this article from WeWire.news that talks about this woman who showed so much courage that during the panic, as Texas said abortions are non-essential, up in Tennessee, in Memphis, they said, no, it's essential. And that's where we left off. She contacted an abortion clinic in Memphis, Choices, all caps, in Memphis, where they were still considered to be essential. And so the story of Tiffany, the pseudonym, continues. She tells her story. She says, but then I started worrying about the waiting period because doing all these calls, I learned that different states have different waiting periods. In Arkansas, it's 72 hours. Tennessee has a mandated 48-hour waiting period. The staffer checked, and she was able to squeeze me in for the next afternoon, Wednesday, so that I could have the actual procedure on Friday. I hung up and called a family member and said, here's the deal. I'm going to Memphis. Naturally, the response was, you're what? There's a pandemic. People aren't supposed to be traveling. Cities are closed down. But I knew I wasn't going to be intermingled with a whole bunch of people. I packed my Clorox wipes and a cooler of food, and I left that day. That's what Tiffany did, because she's got to get that abortion. I could have left in the morning, but I was worried I'd miss the appointment. What if something happened, like I got a flat tire? I wasn't sure if there were normal tow truck services or if AAA would even be able to get to me promptly. The drive ended up being 9.5 hours. It was torture. I listened to very loud music. Everything from lovey-dovey country songs to songs about losing your wife. That is all country songs, isn't it? I was definitely zoned out. I mean, I'm a talker, but for me, not to be on the phone the entire time talking to my best friends who knew what was going on, that I was in a very odd place emotionally. Well, you should be when you're about to commit murder. But I got to think how blessed I am. See, this is where... listen to the language. This is going to shock you at the end. But I got to think how blessed I am. This is a person that's about to commit murder. This is a person that's about to terminate the life of a baby Texan. This is a Texas woman. She's on her quest to get an abortion, and she's going to travel across the state lines to Memphis, and she uses the nomenclature blessed. But I got to think how blessed I am to have the ability to get in my vehicle, drive across the country, and make this decision. All I needed to focus on was taking care of myself and what I thought was best for me and mine, and I had the support to do that. I can't even begin to imagine what it would feel like to be in Texas and have nowhere else to turn. I'd be a flipping basket case. I got to the clinic early the next day. I was still worried about the waiting period. I wasn't sure how strict they were about the 48 hours, but they are. They mark everything on the charts and are rigid about the time, so kudos to them for not breaking any legal stipulations. They checked my vitals, did my blood work, did the ultrasound. I spoke with an educational counselor who asked me, "Do you want sedation?" And this was pretty huge for me because in my mind, I was being sedated. For my appointment in Texas, I'd asked for sedation. She said, "Let me see what I have." And then she said, "I am really sorry, but we can't sedate you on Friday." I'm sure I started to cry, but I also said, "That's what it takes. It is what it is." The courage. The courage. She's going to tough it out. I had the next 48 hours to get in the right mindset. I went back to the hotel. I have no freaking clue what I did there. I wasn't sleeping. There was no sleeping. I did a lot of walking back and forth in front of the window, looking out at the downtown. I did a lot of Pinterest. I ordered pizza. I watched Forensic Files and Keeping Up with the Kardashians. She didn't mention prayer there. She didn't mention seeking the will of the Lord. I just wonder why. I'm kind of curious why she didn't do any of that in her extra time there in the hotel room. But she watched Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Tiffany continues with her story. On Friday, I drove myself to the clinic for the procedure. I also opted to have birth control implanted in my arm. Well, shouldn't she have done that first? Already being a mother of two and divorced and saying that she's in the health and wellness industry, you would think that she would know about, as I mentioned earlier, contraceptives. How come you didn't take the shot or put the implant in your arm before you started swinging episodes, got busy, now you're about to kill an innocent life? That would be the smart thing to do. I mean, for Catholics, I know they don't want to go with the contraceptive thing. I'm not going to argue with Catholics about the contraceptive thing. The Catechism says, the Holy See says, no contraception. I'm not going to argue with anybody about whether they want to use contraception or don't want to use contraception. But once a life is created, well, now it's time to go to war to save that innocent life. How come she couldn't get the thing in her arm before she got pregnant? She says she's in health and wellness. She's a mother of two. She obviously knows how babies are made. You would think that she, being a professional in the health and wellness field, would know there are a cornucopia of options when it comes to contraception to keep from getting pregnant and having yourself in this situation to where now you're looking for a way to murder innocent blood, spill innocent blood. But here she is, and she's being hailed as a courageous heroine by Rewire.news. Her story is being told as this torturous tale of courage. Now, this is when it gets really crazy. On Friday, I drove myself to the clinic. I opted to have the birth control implanted in my arm, so the doctor did that first. There was nothing easy or emotionalist about any of it. I think I cried the whole time. As far as pain, it was definitely uncomfortable, but for me personally, that was it. I only stayed in the clinic for about 20 minutes after. When I went to pay, and the lady ran my credit card, I looked at the receipt and said, "That's not the right number. I didn't pay enough." Already, at my first appointment, the clinic told me that someone had anonymously donated $200 to help me with expenses. But then the lady at the desk said, "You had a second anonymous donor." Oh, we know this goes on, right? You can actually donate to an abortion clinic, to an abortuary, to a 21st century Treblinka for abortions to be done. How charitable, how benevolent. I wonder if you can get a tax write-off for baby killing, for the funding of baby killing. I bet it's a tax write-off. I bet it's an absolute tax write-off. And because I'm a crier, Tiffany continued, I broke down. I just couldn't be more appreciative. Already, I was paying more than $700 for the hotel and gas. It just goes to show you that there are good people out there. I left for home at 7:30 the next morning. The hotel checkout wasn't until 11. but there was no sleeping for me. I thought the sooner I got on the road, the better. I was just focused on being home. But it was a really long, lonely trip, and I still feel like I'm an emotional wreck. Get this, guys. Look at what she says here. Tiffany, I attend a Christian-based church, and I'm a spiritual person as well. I definitely believe there's a power greater than ourselves, but I also believe in free will. It's up to us to make the right choices for ourselves. This is not a Christian. Right there. That one sentence, that one paragraph, those three sentences right there let you know that is not a believer. I don't care if you go to a church. It's not an issue of being a cafeteria Christian. It's not an issue of picking off a menu what you want to follow and what you do not wish to follow. She says, I attend a Christian-based church. I mean, just the way she phrases it, a Christian-based church. She says, I'm a spiritual person. She didn't say I'm a born-again believer. She didn't say I'm a spirit-filled, born-again believer. She says, I believe in a power greater than ourselves. How about believing in Yahweh? How about believing in Yeshua? How about believing in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? She doesn't say that. A power greater than ourselves. But she says, I also believe in free will, which means that if you want to defy the will of God, well, you've got the free will to be able to do that. This is someone who is completely, utterly non-Christian. You have the free will to make the decision that what's best for you. If that means killing a child, then God's good with it because there's a such thing as free will. She concludes, I made the best decision for my current circumstances and the people in my life, and I definitely believe it's an individual's choice. The government, and this is underscored in the article, the government, especially a man, shouldn't be putting anyone in this kind of a predicament. It's awful, and it shouldn't be going on, not at all. I guess she's talking about Ken Paxton. I guess she's talking about Greg Abbott. I guess she's talking about Jim Graham, president of Texas Right to Life, and every other male out here in the world that cares about baby Texans. It's not our purview at all. We shouldn't be making any decisions, have no opinion on it at all, because it's completely under the control of women. Only women should make the decisions on whether or not a child should be murdered or not in the womb. No, but she says she's a Christian. But no man, especially a man, should be making any decisions about the conditions of abortion. She makes me sick, this Tiffany with her pseudonym, and anybody else who thinks like her. The death culture makes me sick. The death culture is satanic. The death culture is Luciferian. The death culture causes demons to dance and party. But she says she's belongs to a Christian-based church. I would love to visit that church and have a little chit-chat with the pastor and see what he or she believes. How courageous during this panic. How courageous to take the steps to kill a baby Texan. That's a Texas woman. That's why I focused on it. That's why I read it. She's being championed.
RER Cross is the Christian programming of RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Pastor Stephen Broden is a featured Bible teacher.
What runs interference with God's instructive word are Satan, the world, and the flesh. Out of these three comes doubt, fear, and unbelief. Doubt and fear leads to unbelief. Unbelief, more than any other sin, is targeted towards the very character and integrity of God Himself. It challenges God's promises, His stated purposes, and casts dispersion on His plan for you and all who believe. This is what Satan did in the Garden of God with Adam and Eve. Satan led them to believe God was holding back on them and was untruthful about the consequences if they ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Enjoy Pastor Stephen Broden, 9:30 a.m. and 9:30 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Hey, Barry the Music Man here for Tejas Smoke Depot. They have everything you need when it comes to smoke. Check out the 150 square foot walk-in humidor filled with a huge selection of fine cigars. Or give them a call at 830-990-1472 and order up what you want. Maybe you like to roll your own. They have it. Maybe you need a gift for a smoker in the family. How about a new pipe? They have a large selection, even a cross-section of great beers in stock. In a hurry, come by and use the drive-thru. Located at 1639 West Highway 290 in Fredericksburg, Texas. Out of town? Visit them at the website, TejasSmokeDepot.com, or call 830-990-1472. That's 830-990-1472. It's smoking.
When Andrew Jackson ran for president in 1828, his opponents called him a jackass. Jackson liked the image so much, it became the mascot of the new Democratic Party.
Green Air Technology will sanitize, sterilize, and defunctifies your home. Our treatment utilizes a high-output biocleaner to eradicate bacteria, germs, and airborne pathogens and allergens in any home, vehicle, or facility. So if your facility or home smells funky like a bow-legged monkey, call Green Air Technologies. We are dedicated to eliminating odor and airborne contaminants at home, at work, or even in your vehicle.
Now featuring Biosphere.
Call Jim Green at 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com. 346-254-9217 or go to greenairtech.com.
Can you do it? The RER 2+2 Challenge. Howdy, rowdy Texans. It's me, E, the millennial voice of RER. I'm a big fan of RagingElePhantsRadio.com. More Texas voters should be listening to RER every day. A better, deeper knowledge of how Texas works will help Texas voters to make Texas more like Texas. The RER 2+2 Challenge. Listen to RER 2 hours a day, every day, for 2 weeks. You'll learn more about Texas politics in 2 weeks than you've ever known. Mark it on your daily calendar. Set your phone alarm. The RER 2+2 Challenge. 2 hours a day, every day, for 2 weeks. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. The rebellious voice of Texas liberty.
Texas-centric radio for Texans in the know. RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
I got the best bumper music in all of communications. I really do. But I need to expand the portfolio. It's about time to do that. But I got the best bumper music in all of communications. I really do. I got to say hi to Sunny. Hey, Sunny. What's going on, girl? Where is Sunny from? I think she may be a friend of the TNT, the TMB, the Hot Ticket, Tina Moody Bryan. Tina, where did your top fan badge go? Do they still have top fan badges? Because Tina is a top fan, and I don't know why she doesn't have a top fan badge. I don't understand. I want to say hi to Shirley. What's going on, Shirley? They're all watching Facebook.com/Raging Elephants Radio. And then we're putting all of this on our RER YouTube channel as well. And I'm going to get courageous. Maybe next week. There was a time when we actually streamed on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. Thanks to the technical genius of Daniel Miller, we may have the capacity, the big monster computer may have the capacity to do that again. I may try it again because I really do want to build up the YouTube channel as well, not just Facebook. YouTube has better monetary opportunities than Facebook. But I want to thank everybody for joining me right here, right about now. You know, Texas, unlike the other states of the Union, we're dealing with 3 unusual situations. We got ourselves in a bind. Now, unlike or like the other states, and territories, I would imagine. The whole panic has got everything shut down, and we're focused on the economy. From the very beginning, I promised you that I pledged to you that I was going to be the anti-panic broadcast activist. I pledged to you that I was going to be the anti-panic talk show host. And now other talk show hosts are finally starting to catch up. Even government officials are starting to catch up. Now, the conspiracy theories and in some instances conspiracy facts are starting to be uncovered. But I've said from the very beginning, from the very economic shutdown, that was totally, utterly stupid. Government overreach, that it didn't have to shut down the economy, didn't have to endanger all of these small businesses, but here we are. But with Texas, we got two more layers that we have to deal with. Not just COVID-19, not just the coronavirus panic, but we've been attacked by two foreign powers, Russia and Saudi Arabia, economically. I even played the video for you where U.S. Senator Ted Cruz, he called it economic warfare. Long after I did. You have to face it. When it comes to seeing what's going on, I'm leading the pack. I know Russia's the king, but I'm still leader of the pack. I know Sean. I know you guys love Sean. He is the amplifier extraordinaire. But I'm leading the pack. I know you love Laura. She's smart as a whip. I know you love Tucker, smart as a whip. But I'm leading the pack. I'm even leading the pack when it comes to Mark Levin, my personal favorite national syndicated talk show host. But I'm leading the pack because at the very beginning, when these measures were being taken, I said what? Moronic. I said what? Tyrannical. I said what? Unnecessary. I said what? Picking winners and losers. The ultimate in picking winners and losers. I said what? That the actions being taken by the government ain't going to help a single soul. That we were in deep dookie. Said it from the beginning, have not changed my position. And everything that I've said is going to happen has happened. And now we have citizens finally rising up because from the very beginning, I've been encouraging Texans and anybody listening to the program, defy, do not comply. And there have been those on the Facebook thread that have said, no, I agree with you, Claver. I'm defying. I will not comply. And you shouldn't. Especially if you're a small business owner. Open up your business right here, right now. Dare them to come and arrest you. Dare them to come and padlock your business. This is the ultimate in picking winners and losers. The ultimate. So we're dealing with the panic. We're dealing with the fact that we've been attacked by Russia and Saudi Arabia. Oil prices below $20 a barrel today. You still got the cash spot price where you can get 42 gallons of oil. That would be a barrel for less than a McDonald's combo meal. They're striking at the heart of the Texas economy, trying to break our backbones. It's been reported. It's openly admitted. Even Ted Cruz said it. It was purposeful. It is no different than if there was Russian and Saudi naval battleships off the coast of Corpus Christi doing a blockade. That any ships coming out of Sabine Lake, out of Port Arthur, out of Beaumont, out of the Houston Ship Channel would be torpedoed. A blockade is the same type of thing. Ted Cruz called it economic warfare. War has been declared on Texas, and we have yet to see a retaliation by the White House, by Washington, by Austin. They're just treating us like a muppet. I mean, it's unconscionable. And the third thing that Texans have to deal with is the border invasion. And I've been giving you the border invasion numbers. Have you forgotten about the border invasion? Do you think that just because there's a panic, do you think that just because there's this COVID-19 shutdown of everything that the invaders would comply? They are not complying. They are still invading the 5 border sectors of Texas. I've given you the numbers. I gave you the numbers yesterday. 35,000 more crossed illegally into Texas in March of 2020. Yes, the number's way down. But if you think the border invasion has stopped because of the coronavirus, then you would be wrong. So Texas is dealing with the panic, being attacked by foreign powers economically, and the border invasion. And actions to deal with these three issues here in Texas are not being taken. I blame President Trump. Sorry, Trumpkins. Sorry. I know it. I know I could be excommunicated for saying something against the President of the United States, but I am. I blame Greg Abbott. That makes fewer of you mad, you know. I blame Sylvester the Rodent Turner, mayor of Houston. Clay Jenkins, Dallas County judge that believes he pays the payroll for Hobby Lobby and can get behind the microphone at a presser and order their managers and employees to shut down the Hobby Lobby shop. I blame him. But as far as us being attacked economically, an act of war actually being perpetrated on us, Texans, there has been no retaliation, no retribution, no James Brown payback, none, zero. And we still have the border invasion. We don't have time to wait for the wall. COVID-19, coronavirus, economic shutdown, being attacked by Russia and Saudi Arabia. And we still have the border invasion and nothing is being done about it. Can't wait for the wall. Greg Abbott is calling out the National Guard. Greg Abbott is shutting down Interstate 10, 20, and 30. If you're over in Louisiana, don't even think about coming to Texas. How come he doesn't have that attitude when it comes to the southern border of Texas with Mexico? Send the National Guard and the Texas State Guard down there, fully armed, fully militarized, and stop the invasion. We're dealing with a lot of things here in Texas, and the leadership ain't worth squat from top to bottom. Now, I want to play this video from this, of all places, a Stanford professor. This guy's from Stanford. It was on CNBC. It was on yesterday. I think it's video clip number 4. Let me find it. And I may jump in from time to time. But I want to play this video because many of you are small business owners. And you are the ones that I am most concerned about. Small business owners and the employees of small businesses. I'm just trying to figure out what business is not essential, especially if you're an employee. What business is non-essential, especially if you're an employee? April 1st has passed. Tyranny Day was yesterday. You got more rent coming up. And this helicopter money isn't going to help very much at all. Now they're talking about the economy staying shut down all the way through May. Those that are in the know, big Wall Street money, are not talking about any type of economic recovery until potentially the fourth quarter of 2020. This is not going to be a V-shaped recovery. It may not even be a U-shaped recovery. It may be an L-shaped recovery. Many of the things that we've been accustomed to in our lives for all of our lives may be changed forever because of this. Government is just having a heyday telling us what to do, where to go, what we can do, what we can't do. And when government takes turf, it's always harder for the Saints and Patriots to take that turf back, and you know that. Well, you got to be on your guard. I'm still encouraging anyone who has a small business, defy, do not comply, open up your business, do not let the government shut down your business. This is the ultimate in picking winners and losers. If you don't like the government picking winners and losers, well, you're watching it under the guise, under the excuse of a panic. Unconscionable. I want you to see this video I got here. This is a guy, he's a Stanford professor, and I think he tells it like a TI is when it comes to the economy and the dangers that we face. I mean, he predicts some dire consequences here. This is why I'm saying open the economy right now. Don't let the government put your multi-generational business out of business. Don't let the government put you out of business. Don't let the government have your house foreclosed on. They can't bail out everybody. $20 trillion GDP, $90 trillion total economy. They can't bail out everybody. They're already in deficit spending. Inflation is a real possibility because the Fed is just pumping money out there like crazy. The Fed doing all kind of crazy things like buying stocks and ETFs and junk bonds to try to keep the market propped up. The United States doesn't believe in free market enterprise. You got the Federal Reserve giving the markets oxygen to make sure people don't lose money. That's not free market, saints and patriots. The Fed has no business out there buying ETFs, putting money into the market, buying junk bonds, buying stock issuance, buying positions in private companies. Where are we, France? Where are we, Sweden? Bernie Sanders doesn't need to be the nominee of the Democrat Party. Bernie Sanders doesn't need to take the oath of office to be president. The Bernie Sanders worldview is already a reality in the United States of America. Here's a Stanford professor, and he's going to tell it to you like a TI is, and how stupid it was to shut down the economy. Utterly moronic from top to bottom. I'm sorry, that includes the president, for all of you Trumpkins out there. Moronic. It was stupid. The move of an ignoramus to shut down the economy by government fiat. And it's still moronic. It's still stupid. It's still the actions of ignoramus to keep the economy shut down. Now, even Greg Abbott is sitting here talking, well, we got to find ways to open up portions. We got to find ways to open portions of the economy. Portions? Open up the whole thing. You're still picking winners and losers. Which businesses are you going to allow to reopen, and which businesses are you not going to allow to reopen? You're still picking winners and losers. Open up the economy right now. Totally just ignorance. And you've got businesses more than just a little ice cream shop around the corner that I told you is already gone. It's already gone. There's going to be more businesses. This guy says that up to 30% of small businesses could be out of business by May. Let's go to the videotape.
Professor Dodson, you joined us last week commenting on these programs that were available to companies like the ones that you advised. You gave the program so far a C- or maybe a D+ 1 week ago. Have your grades improved at all since then?
No, in fact, it might not even pass the class. Let me tell you, while Washington, D.C. is debating whose signature gets to be at the bottom of the check and who gets to be in the Blue Ribbon Committee, time is running out. This week, small businesses reported that 28% of them said they will not make it to the end of the month. Meanwhile, we have this massive disconnect between what's happening in Washington, D.C. and what's being said in Washington, D.C. and what's happening out on Main Street in regular middle America. Look, I'll give you an example with the PPP. They said 75% of that money has to be used for payroll. Well, if they'd only asked small business, they would have found out that 50% of small business expense is for payroll. The rest goes to other uses. So why are they being asked to take on this debt burden when they can't use it for the things that keep them open? In fact, 30% of small businesses have said they're not going to apply to the PPP. Why? Because of the red tape. They don't trust the government, and the program doesn't line up with their expenses. Now look, Apple might be sitting on $200 billion of cash, but that's not how it works in middle America. Most small businesses have a 2-week supply of cash for their expenses, 2-week supply of cash, and they don't have access to credit markets. They can't issue bonds. They can't issue stock. And so we've got big business advising the U.S. government on how to handle small business, and it's not working.
Yeah, well, I know you're aware of about 31 companies that have applied. How many have actually gotten the funds that they need that you're aware of?
Great question. 1. And I can tell you this, all of them applied on day 1. And on Friday that it was available, they applied. 1 has their cash. And that's why, by the way, the SBA is reporting how many loans have been approved, but they are not reporting, interestingly, how many companies have cash. And that's the reason why. They don't have the cash.
And they won't have the cash. They're still talking about going back and dipping into the money pool again, pulling more money out. We're already at deficit spending. This is nuts. We're headed towards the Weimar Republic. We're headed towards 100% rates of inflation on a monthly basis, month-over-month basis, because the Fed keeps pumping more money in, trying to bail everybody out. I heard some guy today on CNBC arguing we all need to be bailed out. Pump as much money as you possibly can. Who was it? It was Barry Dillard, of all people. It was Barry Dillard, billionaire Barry Dillard, saying, bail everybody out and we'll worry about paying the bills later. Oh, that's a great encouraging word. Confidence building word to the American taxpayer. Just bail everybody out, just print as much money as you want, pump it into the economy as much as you want, bail out everybody, and we'll worry about the bill later. This guy says that 28%, let's just round it off, 30% of small businesses will be out of business by the end of April, by May, because of shutting down the economy of a panic, because of absolutely ignoramus decisions by the government from the White House on down. Stupid. Absolutely moronic. Absolutely stupid for what they've done, shutting down the economy like this. He continues.
You know, Professor, I'm also aware of something perhaps unexpected. There's been an increase in unemployment benefits. You need a certain amount of staff members to be able to actually apply for some of these loans or grants. And I'm aware of some businesses that have lost employees who would rather take the higher unemployment benefit, even though it may not last that long, because it actually represents more than they were making at the companies, and then the companies are not actually eligible.
Yeah, and see, isn't that what always happens? The domino effect of the unintended consequences. The government comes in, intervenes, sticks its nose into the economy where it doesn't belong, and now you got a situation where you have furloughed and layoff employees that are saying, well, gee, living off the government teat makes me richer. Why go out there and punch the clock when I can lay around and eat bonbons and watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians like the Texas woman that killed her baby? The unintended consequences of these geniuses that have titles in front of their names like congressman and senator and secretary and advisor to the president and governor and lieutenant governor and AG. They're a bunch of morons. Every single one of them. Anybody who agreed with shutting down the economy, you're a moron. An absolute certifiable ignoramus. The unintended consequences.
Is that something you're hearing?
Oh, exactly. And that's the perverse thing that's happening. And again, it's why no one in Washington, D.C. or in Manhattan bothered to ask what's happening in Middle America. So if you make, depending upon the state, if you make around $50,000 a year or less, you're better off taking the unemployment benefits, which is insane. So now you've got employees making this difficult choice. Well, would I rather be laid off? Do I want to quit? What should I do? Companies are facing the situation. They say, well, I've got a PPP loan, which doesn't really work for me. Maybe I'm actually better off laying off my employees. They want to be laid off to see what happens. And then what happens at the end of the 8 weeks? What's going to happen at the end of the 8 weeks is there's a cliff. And no one's thought about that cliff. So while Washington, D.C. is arguing about who's responsible, whether it's the governors or the IMF or the World Health Organization, no one has told small business what happens at the end of those 8 weeks.
Understanding, David, that this is the bank's fault or the policymakers in Washington's fault when it comes to fast-tracking those loans into the hands of small businesses?
Washington? Well, I have story after story of bankers in the branches out in America working tirelessly to make these loans. They're working on the weekends, they're doing everything they can. But the problem is that the banks remember what happened in 2008 when they made guaranteed loans, and then under the Obama administration, they came back in the Justice Department and started going through with a fine-tooth comb, looking and seeing what loans that would not be eligible for guarantee. So the banks are faced with this situation where they want to help their customers and they want to help America and they want to get us back on their feet, but they can't risk the fact that these loans, these risky loans, may not be guaranteed, so they're taking their time.
Well, what about the Fed's role here? And, again, the Main Street lending program, the $600 billion that they're going to potentially ensure credit flows to these businesses. Has that gotten started yet in any real way?
Well, the Fed has done a good job of making sure there's liquidity in the system. But the Fed shot all their bullets over the last 3 or 4 years, keeping interest rates down to basically near zero. So the fact that when we really had a crisis, all the Fed could do was drop the rates basically from 3% to 1%, that didn't make any difference. Remember back in 2008 when the Fed could make a massive cut in interest rates, and that was really a good jolt for the economy. So they're firing blanks now. All they can do is create liquidity in the system, but they can't do anything with interest rates now.
All right, so your thoughts are, based on everything you're saying, that a lot of this money is not going to get where it's needed, and therefore these companies are continuing to face dire consequences as a result.
No, it's not going to get there in time. That's the issue. I mean, when you said, as I said earlier, when you have 28% of companies saying they're not going to make it to the end of the month, and by the way, 64% of businesses think that if they can't reopen and get business to normal within 3 months, they are out of business. So the problem is that we don't have the time to go through all these processes about making sure that the guarantees will happen, whose signature is at the bottom of the page. We have to get this money to these businesses right away, or we are going to wipe out a generation of small businesses.
Yeah, and see, this is why I'm telling all you guys, it was moronic from the very beginning. It was a dumb idea from the very beginning to shut down the economy. And I've given you my one-step plan that it takes to reopen the economy. The one-step plan to reopen the economy right here, right now. And this is a Stanford professor, so you would think it would be like Lefty big time. And he was very open about the fact that a lot of small businesses, they just don't trust the government. And he's saying, he's from Stanford, so you expect him to be a lefty. He's sitting there saying government is inefficient. They can't do anything right, including bailing out small businesses. The wisest action to take is fully open the economy right now. All this, well, maybe some regions we can, some sectors we can. Open up the full economy right now. This Stanford professor is sitting here saying, in 3 months, nearly 70% of small businesses will be out of business. They are projecting unemployment rates that will surpass the Great Depression, in which unemployment reached a rate of 25%. All because of a bug. It's totally absurd. The damage may be irreparable. We may never be able to repair the damage to the economy that's being done right now because of a panic. Absolutely ludicrous. Ludicrous. And some people should be losing their jobs. Some people should be losing their jobs. The ones that are members of the elected class should be losing their jobs. Oh, I bet your bottom dollar they're going to try to, if they can, they are going to try and delay the elections if they can, because they all should be in trouble. They all should be voted out. Every single one of them should be voted out for going along with this in the U.S. Senate. What was it, 92 to 95 to nothing, whatever it was, for these bailout packages? Just insane. Utterly insane. The Federal Reserve. Will somebody please pull the plug on the Federal Reserve? The United States is a socialist mess. The United States is a socialist mess. Be honest to yourself. Be honest to your neighbors.
RER Cross is the Christian programming of RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Pastor Edwin Guerra delivers passionate sermons.
And then I'm reminded, God is greater than our feelings. There are times that you don't want to be Jesus to people because you just don't feel worthy. God is greater than how we feel. And that is our hope. We are called to be the hands and feet of Jesus. We are not called to be emotional, up and down, Christianese type of people. We are called to be bold. and stand firm on what we believe, even if you don't feel like it.
Enjoy Pastor Edwin Guerra, 8:30 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
What would happen if one day Washington, D.C. decided that the Texas Tea Party had gone too far? What if Texans really stood up for their constitutional rights? Ripped from today's headlines, a novel that explores that premise. Could it really happen? This is a thriller in the mode of Tom Clancy and Joel Rosenberg. Author David Thomas Roberts explores a scenario that will have you on the edge of your seat from start to finish. Find out why readers use phrases like, "I couldn't put it down," "riveting," "a little too real." Can Texas Ranger Pops Younger save the day? You will only know when you read Patriots of Treason. You'll want to add this book to your collection, and to save time and aggravation, just order the sequel, State of Treason, along with it. You'll be glad you did. Click on the banner ad at the top of the page. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
What's up, Saints and Patriots? I'm Apostle Claver, a proud Texas nationalist, and I'm here to tell you about Texit. For 25 years, Daniel Miller has been working to see the rebirth of the Republic of Texas. His work has been hard, but his passion is deep. For many Texans, there is a deep yearning, a burning to see the prophecy of Sam Houston come true. But the desire of their hearts comes with many questions. Texit has the answer. It's the new book from Daniel Miller and Defiance Press. Texit, Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. Texit charts the path to Texas independence. This riveting book of facts and philosophy will soothe your anxiety about the coming change and build your confidence that Texans can get it done. You'll want to buy several copies for your family and friends. Like I've said about this governmental mess, the only way out is out. And the best part of Texit, I'm in it. Texit, Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. It's selling like hotcakes. Buy it on RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Hey, this is Claver. I want to take a few seconds to give you some words of encouragement. Go after the dream. Some of you have embraced the dream of having your own talk show. Congratulations. You've got a lot to say, and you have the confidence to believe you can do a great job. You should start on RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Purchasing your own block time is cheap. Yeah, a lot cheaper than your local terrestrial station for sure. And we don't leave you to sink or swim. Consultation on how to get up and running is part of our service to you as an RER independent producer. Shoot me an email, info@RagingElePhantsRadio.com. info@RagingElePhantsRadio.com. I'll send you a full media kit. Launch that dream right now with RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Information, communication, action. RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Just having fun talking Texas Liberty 411. I know it doesn't sound like it sometimes, but when you're in this kind of condition, it's kind of hard to be a happy warrior. When you see this amount of tyranny being poured upon our heads, it's kind of hard to be a happy warrior. Claverism number 9, I'm going to repeat it over and over again so that everybody has it memorized. There is no cause in all creation, even COVID-19, no matter how desperate or how benevolent, that justifies the imposition of tyranny. I don't care if humanity was actually under the threat of extinction. That's still not an excuse for the imposition of tyranny. Not if you're a liberty-driven Texan, and you know that. Can I get a better amen? You don't give up your liberty for nada. Excuse my Spanish. You know who I feel sorry for? I've been given a lot of sympathy, a lot of empathy to small business owners. And I've told you before, when I'm out there driving around, defying and not complying, I rarely listen to other talk show hosts because I don't want to be influenced. Whatever I come up with, they may be talking about it. I don't know. I try to avoid, I literally try to avoid listening to Rush. You know the lineup. I try to avoid listening to them because I don't want to be influenced. And I hardly watch Fox News at night anymore. Well, that's primarily because for about 5 months I tortured Barbara and Jasmine during the political campaign watching Fox News 24/7, 365, primarily to make sure that my campaign commercials were being aired. I think if I watched another 5 minutes of Fox News, I'd probably regurgitate. But I don't want to be influenced. So I'm driving around, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to listen to my music. I don't want to listen to KTSU and some great jazz. So I'll put on sports talk. Sports talk. Always lighthearted, always entertaining. And I feel for the sports talk hosts because they literally have nothing to talk about. I turned them on the other day, and they're talking about the Tiger King. Now, I wouldn't even know what Tiger King is if it wasn't for my daughter Jasmine, who found it on Netflix or wherever it was. And so one night we had to watch Tiger King. Well, I watched half of it. Jasmine and Barbara finished off the whole thing, I think. But when you have talk show hosts talking about reality TV, Tiger King, they're in dire circumstances. As a fellow talk show host, or as we say here at Raging Elephants Radio, a broadcast activist, I have 100% utter empathy for them. They've got nothing to talk about. They're talking about the Tiger King. I am really distraught over the demise of the XFL. I was an XFL fan. I was a Houston Roughnecks fan. And I am totally distraught over the demise of the XFL going belly up. They didn't even get to half their season. And now it's gone. And every person that I spoke to, Texans all, and as you know, football is our national sport, and every Texan I know knows football. Even my wife Barbara knows a little bit about football. And Barbara would actually sit down and watch a couple of XFL football games with me because it was good football. XFL was good football. Vince McMahon did a great job this time. His first iteration of the XFL was just a clown show. But this was serious football. And I loved the Roughnecks. And as Gavin was saying last night or night before last, here was the Roughnecks, the only chance we had an opportunity to win any kind of football championship in the city of Houston, and now it was gone. The season is over, and they were undefeated. They were the best team in the league. They were exciting. I'll never forget, on election day, Barbara and I and some volunteers, we're out at the polls, working the polls, and this couple comes up to vote, and they are roughneck gear down to the flow. From the head to toe to the flow, they had nothing but Roughnecks gear on. I love that logo. I loved it. Look at that logo. It's a throwback to the old Oilers logo. It's got the H in there for Houston. I'm thinking the star at the top of the oil rig is a tip of the hat to the San Jacinto Monument. That's what I'm thinking. I loved it. And it was good football. And they were filling the bottom bowl of the University of Houston Stadium. They're gone. XFL, gone. And that's the problem. How many new businesses that didn't have the financial backing of an XFL, the investors of an XFL, are going to be saying toodaloo? Like the previous segment, I played the video from the Stanford University professor that says nearly 30% of small businesses will be out of business by May 1. And that nearly 70% of small businesses are in serious danger of shuttering forever by Q3, the end of Q3. because of this ignoramus shutdown of the economy. And now the XFL is gone. And my argument is the XFL a harbinger of things to come? I want to go to the article. I want to talk, since the sports talk people have having such a hard time finding anything to talk about, I'm going to talk about sports. I'm going to talk about the XFL. I'm going to talk about how the panic is destroying the business of sports. From ESPN, XFL suspends operations, lays off employees, and has no plans for 2021 season. That is a shame, because it had promise. XFL football was good football, and it's gone. It's good spring football. It was good football. I enjoyed it. I didn't speak to a single person who did not enjoy XFL football, who did. And we had two teams here in Texas. We had the Houston Roughnecks, the Dallas Renegades, and of course Houston was spanking Dallas's cookie. That was a beautiful thing before the season ended. Article says the XFL suspended operations Friday morning. This is a couple of weeks ago. And multiple sources told ESPN that the league has laid off nearly all of its staff. A handful of executives remain employed and currently has no plans to return in 2021. The XFL is owned by WWE CEO President Vince McMahon and Alpha Entertainment. In a statement, the WWE said, quote, given the uncertainty of the current environment, the XFL has suspended operations and is evaluating next steps. I wish they would evaluate coming back. I wish there's some way to save the XFL. Somebody needs to make a t-shirt. Save the XFL. I feel sorry for the players. The XFL canceled its season last month after 5 games as part of a nationwide shutdown due to the coronavirus pandemic, pledging to return next year. Well, they won't be able to keep that pledge so far. But XFL COO Jeffrey Pollock changed course Friday, conducting a 10-minute conference call to inform employees of the news. Commissioner Oliver Luck, all of us in Houston, we know Oliver, former Houston Oilers quarterback, hired in 2018 to guide the most ambitious spring football league in decades, did not speak on the call. It was not immediately clear if he is still with the league. According to a prominent former XFL staffer who was on the call, Pollock stopped short of saying the league was going out of business, but the strong implication was clear. The staffer said, quote, it's done, it's not coming back. There was no immediate comment from the league. Breaks my heart. XFL staffers believed that the league would resume play in 2021. Players had previously been told they would be paid through the end of the regular season, which was scheduled to end this weekend. The XFL is the second spring football league in as many years to suspend operations before completing the first and final season, albeit for much different reasons. The Alliance of American Football ran out of money in 2019 and closed after 8 weeks of play. The XFL might be the first pro sports league to fall victim to the economic crisis caused by the global pandemic. And the thing is about the XFL, potentially they were making money. Attendance was rising. I got the attendance numbers right here. It was promising. From Fan Buzz, look at the numbers. They were drawing pretty good crowds. First week of attendance of all their 4 games, only 4 games a week, only had 8 teams. NFL attendance were first week around 70,000, 69.8 And the Houston Roughnecks drew 17.8 thousand. The Renegades, Dallas Renegades, drew 17.2 thousand. And they were playing in the old Texas Rangers Stadium. And the Roughnecks play in the University of Houston Cougar Stadium. Week 2 of attendance, it went up to 76.2 thousand total for the league. Roughnecks, 17.1 thousand. Seattle Dragons had 29.1 thousand. You can't poo-poo that. This was proving that an entertaining game was being put on the field, an entertaining product. Week 3, 81.9 thousand attended. None of the Texas teams had home games, but you had the St. Louis Battlehawks with 29.5 thousand, Seattle Dragons 22,000. In week 4, 70.2 thousand, went down a little bit. The Renegades had 18.3 thousand in attendance. The Roughnecks were on the road against the Renegades. That game drew 18.3 thousand. The Roughnecks spanked the Renegades. Cookie, that was a good game. Total attendance leaders as of week 4, 1 week before the league shuttered. In 2 games, Seattle drew 57,000. I'm sorry, St. Louis, 57,000. Seattle in its 2 games, 2 home games, 51.2 thousand. Dallas, 35.5 thousand. Houston, 34.9 or about 35,000. DC, 32.1 thousand. Tampa Bay, 30.3 thousand. New York and LA trailing behind, 29.7 and 27.1 respectively. Those players, they weren't making a lot of money, and they were happy. I think its slogan was "for the love of the game." And when you look at the money, the pay scale, I mean, this league had the opportunity to literally make money, and we could have a legitimate spring football league and what I call the cold, dark days of sports between the Super Bowl and when Formula One starts. For me, that's the cold, dark days of sports every year. This is the worst for me. The worst part of the year for sports. Super Bowl is over. All that's left is college basketball. There ain't nothing else out there. Well, you do have, the Moonshine League, NASCAR. But between Super Bowl and Formula One, I'm in a sports desert. Until baseball season starts in April. I'm in a sports desert. And if you guys know, I'm not a big fan of March Madness. Can't stand college basketball. The quality is awful. But were these guys making a lot of money? They were not. On a bi-weekly basis, an XFL football player would get $2,080. So what would they get paid on a weekly basis? So your base pay, $1,040 a week, regardless of your position on the field. If you put on the uniform for a game, in other words, you were on the active list, you could tack on another $1,685 for a weekly salary of $2,725. Now, the thing I liked about the league is that every game meant money. Winner, if you won the game, each player got an extra $2,222. So potentially, in 1 week, your base pay, $1,040. If you put on the uniform, you're on the active list, you tack on another roughly $1,700. And if you win, you get another $2,222 for a total of $4,947. About $5,000 a week is what you can max out on. About $250,000 if you extrapolate out for an entire 12-month salary, which they didn't get. And those players were happy. And the fans were happy. I was happy. Every Texan that I spoke to was happy with the XFL. I was becoming a Roughnecks fan. I was down with the Roughnecks. I was looking for the Roughneck games. I was. Because it was good football. They were doing Houston proud. The Renegades and the Roughnecks were doing Texas proud. And now it's gone. And the reason I'm talking about this isn't simply because sports talk show hosts have nothing to talk about. They're talking about Tiger King instead. The reason I'm talking about this is because is the XFL a harbinger of things to come? That other promising businesses, other startups, because of the panic economic shutdown, these opportunities of entrepreneurship are going to be lost. I mean, nobody's shedding a tear for Vince McMahon. I mean, he's a very rich man, right? And Secretary McMahon of the SBA, if she's still the secretary, Linda, is she still the administrator of the SBA? If she is, kudos to her. Nobody's shedding a tear for them. They got plenty money, billionaires. Donald Trump class. But what about the players? And what about us, the fans? And is this a harbinger? Is this a story that's going to be played out in every sector of the American economy, the Texas economy, startups with great promise, thinking outside the envelope, breaking new ground, doing something disruptive, gone. Because the elected class decided to shut down the economy over a panic. Goodbye to the XFL. Sorry to see you go. Goodbye to the Houston Roughnecks. Sorry to see you go. I hope they find some way to come back. I really do. I feel sorry for them. RagingElePhantsRadio.com, the rebellious voice of Texas liberty. Thanks for joining me. I'm Claver, your favorite political flavor. Always giving it to you straight, no chaser.
Hey, this is Barry the Music Man with the Doc Green Show, and one of their most beloved sponsors is BDAC and Heat. I'll tell you what, last summer when it was hotter than heck, my air conditioner went south for the winter. So I called BDAC and Heat. He came out the next day and put in a new, quiet, efficient system. My electric bill dropped 50%. So if you have an AC problem, you need to give Galen a call. So call Galen Beatty at 281-222-9591 or bdacandheat.com. 281-222-9591. Start saving money and be cool today. Hey, Barry the Music Man here for Tejas Smoke Depot. They have everything you need when it comes to smoke. Check out the 150 square foot walk-in humidor filled with a huge selection of fine cigars. Or give them a call at 830-990-1472 and order up what you want. Maybe you like to roll your own. They have it. Maybe you need a gift for a smoker in the family. How about a new pipe? They have a large selection, even a cross-section of great beers in stock. In a hurry, come by and use the drive-thru. Located at 1639 West Highway 290 in Fredericksburg, Texas. Out of town? Visit them at the website, TejasSmokeDepot.com, or call 830-990-1472. That's 830-990-1472. It's smoking.
Join the revolution. Introducing Texas National Outfitters, specializing in custom handmade cowboy boots and leather goods. T&O produces and sells the highest quality in Western wear, custom suits, hats, handmade jewelry, unique Texas gift items, and much more. Texas National Outfitters supports over 50 local Texas artisans that make the bulk of their products. They use these amazing and blessed artisans to create lifetime treasures that are available to you for purchase. These exquisite products will tastefully help you express your Texas pride. T&O, Texas National Outfitters, is not a big box store. It feels like Texas in there. They operate on Christian principles. They feed on supporting Texas culture. Caution, you could be their customer forever. Houston location, 8933 Katy Freeway next to Goods Barbecue. Austin location, 1115 South Congress, down the street from the Pink Dome. T-N-O.com or click the ad on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Harris County has a crime problem. Who are you going to call? It's harder than ever to know who you can trust. You can trust Joe Dana. Group culture is always set by leadership, whether it's an airline or a city. As a lieutenant constable every day, he honors his oath to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the laws of Texas. Protect and serve is in his DNA. As a Harris County Sheriff, Joe Dana will restore your trust in the Sheriff's Department and improve the morale of the deputies on the street. You can trust Joe Dana as Harris County Sheriff.
I am Lieutenant Constable Joe Dana, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Joe Dana campaign.
What do you care about Washington, D.C.? D.C. doesn't care about you. You're a Texan. You're a Texan above all else. And there's only one radio station that's going to feed your need for Texas power and independence. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Finally, the Patriots of the Lone Star State have a unified voice to fight back and organize. 24/7, 365. RagingElePhantsRadio.com is going to give you what you need to know about Texas politics, liberty, and independence. Take us wherever you go. RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Streaming on your computer, smartphone, tablet, and internet auto.
Texas-centric radio for Texans in the know. RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
Hey, do us a big favor. If you're watching Facebook.com/Raging Elephants Radio, share the video right now. Just hit the video share link right now and let somebody know that the best Texas talk is happening right now on RagingElephantsRadio.com. That's what we're designed to do. Talk Texas 24/7, 365. I'm disappointed. What was your name? Shirley. She says, oh, okay, you're going to start talking sports. I'm out of here. Well, yeah, I may have been talking sports, but it had to do with life, liberty, and prosperity. And what's wrong with a little sports? What's wrong with a little pop culture every once in a while? You know, shake things up a little bit. Do I have to talk tyranny versus liberty all the time? Well, I guess I do. Come back! Come back, Shirley! Come back! Give me another chance, please! So, everybody's shut in. Gas is $1.40 or less, depending on where you live. Gas is $1.40 and you got no place to go. Gas is the cheapest it's been since many of us were teenagers, and we can't go anyplace. The TNT, the TMB, the hot ticket, Tina Moody Bryan, Raging Elephants Radio contributor, has her Escalante, as she says. She can fill it up with $30. Whoever thought in our lifetimes we would see the ability to fill up an Escalade with $30? Fill up my car in less than 20. It's a beautiful thing, except one thing. You ain't got no place to go. Because of the morons that have shut down the economy. So Jasmine, Barbara, and I, you know, we got to binge watch stuff around here. And I've got to give up the remote more often than I like. Because I am the best movie picker in this household. There's no question about it. I mean, after all, I do have a degree in communications with an emphasis in radio, television, and film, in cinema. I actually had to take final examinations on Star Wars. So when it comes to picking movies, when it comes to picking video entertainment in this household, I'm the king. Speaking of Tiger King, I'm the king. I'm the best. And I have to remind Barbara and Jasmine of this all the time. I'm the best. They need to sit back, relax, and let me do all the choosing. But they don't, you know. We have to end up watching Mary Poppins or something. I don't know. Whatever Jasmine picks, I don't know. But I have a stack of video. I have hundreds of video DVDs. Hundreds. I've got something like 800 albums, audio albums, 33 1/3 albums. I've got like 800 of those things, 800 up in the attic. And I've got a bunch of DVDs. I've recorded almost every single Formula One race, and I've got it on DVD in my library. Every single Formula One race since 1985. So, since everybody is under house arrest, I've been going up in the attic and finding some good DVDs, some good series from years and years and years ago. Good stuff, biographies, business profiles. I mean, good stuff. Good video stuff. And sharing them with Barbara. Not so much Jasmine, but, you know, Jasmine won't put up with it. She'll just go to her condo. Normally known in your household as her room. She'll go to her condo and watch what she wants to watch on, you know, her Fire Stick TV or whatever. But Barbara, my wife, my lovely, loving, patient, tolerant wife, she'll see what I'll throw on in the DVD. Now, it just so happens that she kind of likes some of the stuff. She kind of likes the same stuff that I like. Like, for instance, she loves Shark Tank. So if it has to do with business, entrepreneurship, she may tolerate it. Well, several years ago, there was this network, the Esquire Network, put out by the magazine publisher. I thought it was like the most awesome network. I loved it because it was like a network for men, for a man's man, a man with style, an alpha male with style. I loved the programming. Went out of business. They closed it down or whatever. I guess if it's not like Bravo, I guess if you don't have a homosexual storyline in every program, you don't have a chance to make it in reality TV, in cable TV these days, which Esquire magazine, the Esquire network didn't have. You remember the program Friday Night Tykes? Took place right here in Texas, Friday Night Tykes. It was awesome. About the Texas Youth Football League. It was like a big hit. It was on the Esquire network. Anyway, there was this program called Risky Listings, and it was about New York City commercial real estate. Multi-dollar listing LA, $1 million listing LA, $1 million listing New York. Those reality series that are on Bravo. They had a couple of seasons of $1 million listing Miami. Well, Esquire Network had this reality series called Risky Listings, and it was about the commercial real estate business in the Big Apple. And so I'm playing one of the episodes for Barbara, and she had never heard of what I'm about to show you right now. And I want to show you this because it gives you some idea of the level of tyranny that can be poured on a citizen, on an entrepreneur in a city like New York. How much control government can have, municipal government can have over your business, its success or its failure. Government literally messing with your business plan. All right, let me set it up for you. The white guy that you're going to see is the commercial real estate agent in New York. The black guy that you're going to see is the entrepreneur. And so Willard, the black guy, he has a chain of little nightclubs, little lounges all over New York City. And he wants to open up a new one, but he has to get permission. So let's take it from there. Permission from who or from whom? This is where it gets extremely interesting. Don't cut the stream. Don't cut the stream. Watch this little segment right here.
The first 40 minutes, we're knocking it out of the park. We had it, Willer. We had it. Tonight was the second community board meeting with Willer for Gallery Bar, and it was just going amazingly well. And then out of nowhere, an absolute cluster took place.
They trying to put a stipulation that I can't do more than 8 corporate events per month. That's how I pay the bills.
I mean, I've been working with Willer for over a year. He didn't pass the community board. When they came back at you and they said, do 8 or less, do 8 or less. They said corporate events. I whispered in your ear, you have to say yes to this.
I'm not gonna front, I'm not gonna lie.
All you had to do was say yes to the 8 corporate events. I'm not saying you lie to them, but you don't call everything a corporate event.
All this bull, man. I need a new place, new space, new community board, new everything. All right?
We're done with Gallery Bar. My $25,000 commission is gone, and now it's back to square one with Willer.
Gallery board is dead. DOA on my radar.
Hey man, how'd it go? Is this yours?
Yeah, it's mine.
Uh-oh. So, check this out. First 35 minutes, knocking it out of the park. Everybody was on Team Willer. Everybody. Not a single problem in the air. I was already cashing my check. All of a sudden, one of the board members decides to ask you, what do you mean by corporate events? He's like, I already have contracts lined up, and we're averaging about 3 corporate events a week. They say to him, listen, man, either you do 8 events or less a month, or you're done. Here's the problem. I can't speak because I'm the real estate agent. I'm the ass trying to collect a check. Whispered in his ear. I'm like, Willard, listen to me right now. You take this deal. They came back to him. They said, sir, will you do 8 events or less? And he looks him right in the eyes and he says, I cannot lie to you. No. Done. Done with this deal. Gallery Bar. That was a total show. It's over. Can I get a drink, please? Somebody. Anybody.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And so Barbara, we're sitting there watching this, and Barbara's like, what's a community board? Do you have a community board in your municipality? Because in New York City, they do. So I had to explain to Barbara what a community board is, and I'm going to explain it to you. because it's absolutely ridiculous. I live in Houston, and Houston is the largest major city that does not have zoning. We don't have real estate zoning, commercial zoning in Houston. There's been a couple of books written about it. It's one of the reasons why Houston is the fastest growing major city in the United States. It's one of the reasons why Houston is the most racially diverse city on the planet. No, not New York, not Chicago, not LA, not Seattle, not San Fran Freak Show. Houston is the most racially diverse city on the planet. So what's a community board? Now this poor guy Willard wants to open up a new business, but they've got these community boards that I would equate to a homeowners association. But here's the difference. The homeowners association can't tell you whether you can buy or not buy the house. If you buy the house, then you automatically opt in to the homeowner association's contract. But you don't go through an interview process of whether or not you can buy the house. Now, when you're considering buying the house, you can take a look at the HOA contract and say, oh no, this is too tyrannical. The HOA is telling me too much what to do with my private property. And we all know HOAs have got way too much power, and the Pink Dome should be doing something about that tyrannical power of HOAs. Charge way too much. I know mine does. But this is different. Let's go through the scenario. So Willard, the entrepreneur, he wants to open up a new lounge in a community, in a neighborhood. He has to get permission from the community board. He has to make a presentation to the community board to see if they will give him permission to open his business in their neighborhood. How do you like them apples, to use an East Coast slang, okay? East Coast slogan. How do you like them apples? But then it gets worse. So Willard goes before the board, and his business model is corporate events. And he's honest about it. He says he does about 3 corporate events a week. That's going to be about 12 a month. He says that's how he makes his money. That's how he pays his bills. But one of the members of the community board pipes up and says, well, that's too many. You can't do that many corporate events. If you agree to only do 8 corporate events, then we'll go ahead and we'll give you permission to open up your business in our neighborhood. And Willard's like, forget it. They're going to try to put me out of business. This is how I pay my lights. This is how I pay my bills. This is how I make money, is through corporate events. Willard, as an entrepreneur, if Willard wanted to do 30 corporate events per month, he should have the commercial liberty to be able to do that. But no, the community board wants to dictate to him his business model. Oh no, if you want to do business in this neighborhood, you're going to have to cut down your corporate events to 8, from 12, from 8. Well, wait a minute. Who are you to tell me how to run my business? What damage am I doing to the neighborhood, to the image of the neighborhood, by having 12 corporate events versus 8 corporate events? Please tell me what's the difference. But in order for him to get permission, he's got the money. He has a deal with the landlord. He has working capital. He's ready to go. He's ready to expand. His commercial real estate agent has found him an ideal property. He's good to go, except for one thing. He has to go to the community board and get permission to open his business. And if you want to open the business, you have to alter your business model the way we say you have to alter the business model. And according to the snippet from the show, Risky Listings, I think it was back in 2013 that show aired, 2013, 2014, you can only have 8 corporate events. And only one person of the community board actually piped up and said, what's this with these corporate events? Willard says, I do 12. You got to do 8 or you don't get the license. Wow. Wow. You talk about picking winners and losers. You talk about tyrannical power on the municipal level. Forget the municipal level. On a neighborhood level, we think HOAs are villainous. Can you imagine you want to open a business, you put all the cash into it, all the investment into it, and some board tells you, sorry, you can't open the business unless you acquiesce and run your business the way we tell you to run the business. And Willard say, forget it. You're going to put me out of business. No, forget this community board. Forget this particular piece of commercial property. We have to start all over again to the commercial real estate agent. We have to start all over again. We need to find a new property. We got to find a brand new community board because I can't have these nimnongs, these bureaucrats, probably unelected, probably appointed, probably the mayoral power that de Blasio has to choose who's on these community boards. Willard says, no, we got to go to a different location. We have to scrap everything. Different commercial property, different community board, different presentation, because one community board member wants to tell me how to run my business, Willard speaking, wants to tell me how to run my business, and if I run my business the way they do, I'm out of business. The commercial real estate agent is like, just lie, Willard, just lie. Just lie to him. Willard's like, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to be honest. Why do I have to lie? Why can't I run my business the way I want to run my business? You talk about picking winners and losers. You're talking about an atmosphere that is proper for corruption. I bet you if Willard passed that one community board member a little envelope, a little brown envelope with a couple of inches in it, he'll be able to run as many corporate events as he wants. Can you believe that? Barbara couldn't believe when I explained it to her. She couldn't believe that something like that even existed. Never mind a homeowners association, a community board in New York City. And I'm pretty sure in these liberal enclaves, these socialist enclaves all over the United States, they probably have something similar. Who would want to do business in New York City when you have to deal with this many layers of bureaucracy and somebody messing with your business model? I just wanted to share that with you. When we're talking about life, liberty, prosperity, when we're talking about free enterprise, when we're talking about the power for us to run our lives, our businesses, our families the way we want to, I just wanted to give you an example of what it's like outside of Texas, what it's like in a place like New York City. This glorious metropolis, New York City. Try doing business in New York City. Unbelievable, the commercial prices per square foot. Just try. I have no interest in going to New York City. I don't even want to visit New York City. New York City has a smell. It smells. New York City, actually, it smells. Automobile aficionado, Apostle Claver here. Let me introduce you to my mechanic, an ASC certified mechanic, Andre at America's Repair in Houston. Now, you guys know I'm a former fully sponsored race car driver and I own a high performance auto. You bet I'm particular about who even touches my car. I go to America's Repair to get all my auto work done, and you should too. Andre has served Spring Branch and all of Houston for over 20 years. America's Repair will match or beat any competitor's price. All repairs come with a 1-year, 12,000-mile warranty. America's America's Repair is a complete car care and repair center. State inspection, muffler and exhaust work, wheel alignment, brake work, tune-ups, engine transmission work, auto body and paint. Great deals on oil change and AC checkup. America's Repair accepts all extended warranties. 2005 North Gessner, 1 mile north of Memorial City Mall in the Katy. Wednesday is senior citizen discounts. Thursday, active military discount. Call 713-467-2001. 713-467-2001. AmericasRepair.com or click the ad on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
RER Cross is the Christian programming of RagingElePhantsRadio.com. Here's a sample from Pastor Keenan Smith.
See, however, though, I believe the White House is supposed to stand as the people's house for all individuals. So I believe it is sinful and wrong for the White House to spend tens of hundreds of thousands of your tax dollars to bathe the White House in rainbow colors, celebrating their victory. So let me say this, that we expect an unregenerated individual to act lost. Lost people act lost. We expect that. We even expect them to embrace or promote or even applaud homosexuality and other ungodly practices because that's where they are in life. We understand that. The question is not do they act lost, but do we act found?
Enjoy Pastor Keenan Smith, 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Sundays on RER Cross, right here on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
What's up, Saints and Patriots? I'm Apostle Claver, a proud Texas nationalist, and I'm here to tell you about TexIt. For 25 years, Daniel Miller has been working to see the rebirth of the Republic of Texas. His work has been hard, but his passion is deep. For many Texans, there is a deep yearning, a burning to see the prophecy of Sam Houston come true. But the desire of their hearts comes with many questions. TexIt has the answer. It's the new book from Daniel Miller and Defiance Press. TexIt, Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. TexIt charts the path to Texas independence. This riveting book of facts and philosophy will soothe your anxiety about the coming change and build your confidence that Texans can get it done. You'll want to buy several copies for your family and friends. Like I've said about this governmental mess, the only way out is out. And the best part of TexIt, I'm in it. TexIt, Why and How Texas Will Leave the Union. It's selling like hotcakes. Buy it on RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
The battle for liberty rages in every Texas community, none more so than in the nation's fourth largest city, Houston, Texas. A tyrannical mayor denies the right to vote to the citizens of the city, signs executive orders that violate the Texas Constitution and the charter of the city, and issues subpoenas for the sermons of pastors. And when the frontline leaders against the mayor's totalitarian agenda wanted a broadcast partner for their Faith, Family, and Freedom tour, who did they request? RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
There are a lot of great folks that we owe a big debt of gratitude for promoting this issue from day one. I want to recognize my friend Claver and the folks over at Raging Elephants over here. He was on it from day one. Every single week this man talks about this issue. And so thank you, Claver, for never giving in, never backing down, and continuing to be that loud conservative voice.
RagingElePhantsRadio.com, the rebellious voice of Texas liberty. Numbers equal power. Spread the word about RagingElePhantsRadio.com.
BNRER evangelist. I'm seeing some folks, Facebook.com/RagingElePhantsRadio, that are saying, hey man, they're sharing the video link and they're telling their friends, check this cat out. Where y'all been? I'm the best in Texas and you're just now finding out. You're just finding me. You're just finding me. Where have you been since 2013? Well, glad to have you now. Don't miss another episode, and keep being an RER evangelist. Okay, I've got to end the program with this today, because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I literally could not believe what I was witnessing. I couldn't believe it. Now, when this whole coronavirus thing broke out, I played you a video from Southern, below the Mason-Dixon line, funny man, Ginger Billy. I think they call him Ginger because he's a redhead. Ginger Billy. That's the only reason why. Ginger Billy. And he was showing his coronavirus suit, right? And part of his coronavirus suit was his coronavirus stick. And he would say, and I got my stick, and so it means, you got to stay back from the stick, right? And then if you get too close, I'm going to hit you with the stick, and I'll beat you with the stick. So now I'm watching CNBC, the business channel. And they're doing a serious interview with a small business owner in Oregon somewhere, whatever. And they're having a serious conversation about what it takes to keep a small business going during the panic. And they're showing video of the small business, which is a lawn service, landscaping service in Oregon or something. And all of a sudden, out of the clear blue sky, the Ginger Billy coronavirus stick is being used for real by the employees of the landscaping company. No, I got proof. I've got proof. I got to show it to you. Here it is. Ginger Billy. Check it out.
It's my corona stick. When somebody starts walking up to me, I will stick the stick out like this. And once they touch the tip of the stick, that's as close as they can get right there. Because that right there gives me enough distance to where if they cough, their coronavirus droplets will not make it into my mouth. Now, if they keep trying to walk, that's when you need to say back. You need to get back. That way they'll know you ain't playing no game, all right? I will beat you with this stick if you keep trying to walk toward me, okay? My personal health is at jeopardy. You don't get near me. You stay back. Now, here is my corona stick. When somebody starts walking up to me, I will stick the stick out like this.
Now look, at the bottom screen, that's the company, and the guy is picking up a lawn rake. And stop right there. He has a coronavirus stick. Stop right there. You can't come closer. If you come any closer, I'm gonna beat you with this rake. I couldn't believe it. Somebody actually watched the Ginger Billy video and said that's a good idea. That's the only explanation that it could be. That's the only explanation, isn't it? Right? The Ginger Billy coronavirus stick. Somebody should let's sell those. We could make millions with coronavirus sticks.
Here is my corona stick. When somebody starts walking up to me, I will stick the stick out like this. And once they touch the tip of the stick, that's as close as they can get right there. Because that right there gives me enough distance to where if they cough, their coronavirus droplets will not make it into my mouth. Now, if they keep trying to walk, that's when you need to say back. You need to get back. That way they'll know you ain't playing no game, all right? I will beat you with this stick if you keep trying to walk toward me, okay? My personal health is at jeopardy. You don't get near me. You stay back. Now.
And look at the bottom. That's a real business. And they are using the Ginger Billy coronavirus stick. It's a rake. But he's literally telling me, stay back. Stay close enough. Watch. That's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. You got a comedian, Ginger Billy, talking about the coronavirus stick, and here's somebody putting it in a real practical use. A real business. This is how insane the panic had. I got my coronavirus. I got my coronavirus rake. Don't stop right there. You're too close. You're too close. The droplets may come down my throat. You back. I couldn't believe it. I said it to Barbara. She's like, it's a spoof, right? I'm like, no, it's on CNBC. It was a real interview. That is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. That's nuts. That's completely nuts. The United States of America is insane. It's a panic. I can't take it anymore. I can't. I'm Apostle Claver T. Kamau-Imani, the Christian politician, your ultra-conservative soul brother. My enemies under the pink dome call me the purifier for good reason. I consider it a compliment. From H-Town, goodbye, Houston Roughnecks. May the Lord Jesus bless you. May the Lord Jesus bless the past and soon-to-be future independent, sovereign Republic of Texas.